A cloud adoption framework, what is it? Essentially, it is a tool set and set of guide rails that allows customers to migrate to Azure in a controlled, secure, and efficient way. And really, it brings down the barriers to adoption by helping to piece together all the key requirements of successful technology transformation. So, as you can see on the left-hand side there, it looks to bring people, processes, and the underlying technology together in a holistic circle there, bringing everything into one place. The key thing is that no successful migration will happen without aligning those three elements. So bringing the business together, bringing the people within it, and bringing that technology strategy to be able to achieve that. And the key thing is achieving it in a efficient and comprehensive way. And what the CAF also looks to do is achieve balance. And what Microsoft mean by that is essentially there's various stakeholders within an organization that are impacted by an Azure migration or any technology transformation. And the key thing is getting balance across all parties so the organization is really behind that transformation and is ready to adopt that technology. And ready to really roll out that project. So it's about getting the technology balance, it's about getting the strategic balance, it's about getting the end user balance, bringing everybody on board and making sure that all of those elements, the people, the processes, and the technology are all harmonized together in order to be able to deliver a successful Azure migration. And essentially, that's what the CAF framework is. It's allowing you to basically recognize all of these various elements and giving you tooling to make sure that you're best prepared and you're in the best place possible for that Azure migration. So in terms of the elements of the cloud adoption framework, there are, as you can see there are 6 key elements to the cloud adoption framework. It starts off by defining strategy. So obviously a really important part of any project is the strategic elements around it. Why are we doing it? What are we looking to achieve? What are our priorities out of that? Plan, ready, and migrate and innovate have that dotted box around that. That's because those three are really linked together closely in terms of migrating workloads to Azure. So planning is really around making sure your organization has the relevant plans in place and has thought about all of the different intricacies of an Azure migration so that you are ready for that ready stage, for one of a better way of phrasing it. So in terms of plan, it's really looking at what skills you've got, how ready you are for cloud adoption, rationalizing your existing estate, and really making sure you've got organizational alignment to that particular project. The ready stage is self-explanatory. It's really about setting up your first steps within Azure, so building out your Azure tenant, landing your first landing zone, making sure you've done all the considerations around what that landing zone looks like for you, and we'll talk about the landing zone in further detail later on. And then finally, with migrate and innovate, it's around there's 2 elements there: is why you're migrating and how you do it, and also innovating further. What are the additional benefits of migrating to Azure that you can leverage, and the additional value that you can bring to your technology estate and to your organization as part of that Azure migration? You don't simply want to do a lift and shift. You want to be innovating into preferably a cloud native type scenario. So those are 3 key ones. Another thing to highlight is any workloads that you're looking to migrate, they will always go through this process. So if it's a SQL database, for example, you'll always go through the plan, ready, and then migrate phase. And then finally, really core element is the governance and the management of that Azure environment. And they're sort of underneath there because they are the foundation to that Azure platform. So your governance is crucial from an organization's perspective for Azure optimization, and we'll talk about more about that later. And then the ongoing management, obviously, as your business matures from a technology perspective, how do you ongoingly manage Azure effectively and efficiently? So in terms of that CAF overview, what's the purpose of it and what are the benefits? Well, ultimately,